Hi Yins, how are you doing today? I hope you're all doing well. It is mid-October or coming up on mid-October, and I thought I'd check in to see how everyone is doing, to show you my progress. Life has been status quo. It's been a lot of work, busy at work with the school, as well as stitching and crafting. So, I thank you all for the positive compliments on getting a promotion. I really appreciate it. And so, with that comes a lot more responsibility, which is, busy, but everything is going well. So I hope you are all doing the same. I hope you're having finding lots of time for stitching and crafting and knitting. And so let's jump right on into it. So I do have one finish to show you in the stitching world. I have a partial finish in the knitting world, and I've really, with my knitting, I've mostly been focusing on that blanket that I showed you last time. So I'm not going to pull that out and show you because it's just giant and it looks exactly the same the whole way across it. But I've probably put in about that much progress. So a foot, 2 feet, no, that's more than about 2 feet of progress on it. It's about half the length that I want it to be. So I'm going to keep going at it with that, and we'll see how long it takes me to get that done. I've also been working on that scarf that I showed you last time, and so hoping to have that finished in the next week or so. However, since the last time that I saw you, about 3 weeks ago, maybe a month now? No, it's about 3 weeks. I did start this partial finish that I'm going to show you today. So it uses Fable Fur from, these are both Knit Picks yarns that I picked up. So this is Fable Fur. This is in the apparently it doesn't have a color name. It's gray Fable Fur. Never knitted with this. I was totally anxious to knit with this, but it actually was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. And then I use Swish Bulky Weight in Garnet Heather. Can you tell what I'm knitting? So here is the partial finish. It's a Santa hat. I don't have a Santa hat of my own, so whenever I saw this free pattern on Knit Picks, I was like, oh, that'll be fun to knit. So I went ahead and knit a Santa hat. It says one size fits most. Apparently I am in the minority of not most. So this one does not fit me. I'm gonna have to adjust the numbers so that I can make one that does fit me, but it was a lot of fun to knit. Definitely much bigger gauge knitting needles than I'm used to with my sock knitting, but it was a lot of fun. So it fits my deer heads on the wall, so I'm probably going to make another one and then have Santa hats for the deer heads. So all I have left to do with this is to put on a pom-pom, which I will have to get the machine to make it, and then I'll make the pom-pom out of the Fable Fur. And I'll be ready to start another one that actually fits me. So I'm going to have to do some math to figure out the numbers that I need to do for knitting the one that's more my head appropriate, since I have a massively large head. But other than that, I have a Santa hat. So that was a lot of fun to knit. So that's all the knitting I have to show you today. Just wanted to show you what I was able to get done, something different that I normally don't knit on. So let's get right on into, I feel like I'm talking super fast. I don't know. You can see my garden here in the background. I have my roses that are just finishing blooming, and then I actually have my Christmas cactus. My yellow one and my white one are getting ready to bloom, which is really exciting. They're a little early because Christmas is still 2.5 months away, but I guess they're Halloween cactus this year. So my garden is doing pretty well. This is a goldfish plant that I have hanging up here that I got for my birthday. So never heard of one before, but that's actually doing pretty well. It's starting to grow really well. So I'm really excited about that. Enough of my garden. Let's talk about knitting or stitching, cross stitching. We're going to talk cross stitching. So Celtic Banner by Butternut Road. That is their model stitch, and I have it finished. So it's not fully finished, just finished. I didn't even iron it, but I have the entire thing stitched up. So here it is. So there is the top, and there is the bottom. Bottom. Top. So this is stitched on 40 count Verdal, white Verdal that I coffee dipped and dried. So this is white Verdal that I coffee dipped, and it's stitched 1 over 2. 1 over 2 on the Verdal 40 count Lugana or even weave, Verdal even weave. And what I did differently, because I was not able to get the specialty threads for the border. The border is usually done with Karen. I'm not sure. And I don't have it here with me. But instead of doing the cottons for the border, I was able to get the silks. So the border is stitched in silks, and everything else is cottons or DMC. And there it is. Very excited and happy about this one. I'm not sure how I'm going to finish it yet, if I'm going to make it into a bell pull or if I'm going to make it a framed piece. If I do make it framed, I will have to get a custom frame for it just because of the size. But very, very happy about how this looks. I can't even get the whole thing in the frame because it is so long. So there's the majority of it. So that is my finish. Last but not least, since I said in the last video I was going to be a monogamous stitcher, I've pretty much been a monogamous stitcher. So I finished this about a week after I filmed last. And then since then, I have been stitching vigorously on London by the Governor. So if you remember last time I was working over here on this side, I hated doing that gate, so I went ahead and skipped over to the white building and the telephone booth. And so here is my progress. So since I last saw you, I was able to get the entire telephone booth stitched and back stitched, as well as this whole page. This is an entire page from here over is completely stitched. Even the gate is completely filled in, and I back stitched the bottom half of this building here. So there's not a whole lot of back stitch. I actually even had to question how I wanted to do the back stitch on this, because there's some back stitch on the other part of this that I need to go back and fix. And the reason is because since it's a black fabric, I was really struggling with how I wanted to do the back stitch, because the back stitch is dark. So whenever I stitched it, basically you couldn't even tell that I stitched the back stitch. So you can see there's back stitch here, and it's just subtle back stitch, but it does give a definition. And then the back stitch in the telephone booth, this even says telephone, and you can't even read it. But I did what it said to do. And so I decided to end up doing some couching, and then because it's couching, I made sure that I put the little loops that go over top of the couching closer together so they wouldn't get wonky. Because whenever I did the back stitch, even with like a section of 2, like a longer back stitch, it still just blended right into the fabric and you couldn't see the back stitch at all. So I did some couching, and I think it's working well, and it's not getting wonky whenever I take my finger over it. So I guess I'm going to do couching for the rest of the piece. So there's still backstitch in the gate that needs to be completed, but I need to finish this other portion of the lamppost on the gate before I can do the backstitch. And then I need to work on this next page up here, which is predominantly this building, and finishing up this edge of this building here. So for the most part, this is coming along pretty smoothly. I have put this down for the last couple days. I'm working on some model stitches for a piece that I've designed that I'm hoping to get out in the next couple weeks. So I'm working on that this weekend, and then hopefully we'll have that. Once I have that stitched up and ready to go, I will go back to London and start working on this page up here. So this is as far this direction as this pattern goes. So that's the very edge of this pattern. Now I just need to work up. So I need to finish this building, and then behind these two buildings is, as you can see, is Westminster Abbey. So then I need to put in the towers of Westminster Abbey. Once I do all of that, everything from here over will be done except for that tree. There's a tree right there that I need to stitch. So after that, then I'm going to come back over, work on the tree, the Tower of London, and the Elizabeth Tower, or as most people know it as Big Ben. So that is the plan. I'm going to keep working on that until I start getting tired of it. At one point I was starting to feel fatigued from it, but I kept pushing through, and then I got motivation again. So I'm really hoping to get that one done here soon. I know it's going to take a while because it's still a fairly substantial amount to work on, but I really want to have that one done and out of the way. I'm really just in the mood to finish up all these pieces that I've had on the go for a long time, and then get to some new stuff. So again, like I said, I am working on a piece that I designed. I've been working on this piece for 2 years that I've been designing, but it just hasn't come to fruition up until now, but I've gotten the urge to get it out now. So I'm going to be working on that, hopefully, and finishing that up this weekend, and then have the next video I should have a pattern release to talk to you guys about for my Etsy store. So with that, that is all I have for you today. I talked super fast, but that's all right. I hope you are all well. I hope you're all doing well, and until we see each other again, keep crafting. I love reading your comments in the bottom. I know I'm horrible with getting to them anymore just because of my time constraints, but I do enjoy reading and catching up with all of you. So until then, I hope you all have a wonderful couple weeks, or until I see you again. Happy stitching, and as always, don't forget to always be creative.